Hi guys. Um, so yeah, uh, I'll now go to a church holiday for a few days, and after that to the trip to Italy. And just record this for just some thoughts, just so that I can understand how I was feeling before, what I expected, and how it then was like compare before after. Just some thoughts. So yeah, God told me to go to Italy like several times, and I could ignore it, but I don't want to. So it's like it's not like an encounter, but like several times, just Italy, Italy, Italy. Yeah, I don't want to, and like Moses, he was 80 years old and in the desert, and God called him to bring them out of Egypt, and that's his calling. And because he followed his calling, that's how he got close to God and actually became like face to face with God. And so you gotta, follow your God-given passion, your God-given calling, in order to get close to God, because that is what success is, to get close to God. That is like my highest goal, but it should be like to honor the Father. Prayed. I only realized this just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So goal would be to honor the Father. Should be. But for me it is maybe still to grow closer to God, which is a good goal, but not the best. And to honor God. I don't know where it is in ranking, and to preach the gospel so that people's life transform. Maybe just 1 out of 100. But yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah, it is extremely terrifying somehow, the thought that I'm somewhere and people reject me, and then I'm out in the rain, in the coldness, in the darkness. That is like the fear. But God provides. So there's nothing to fear. Yeah, right. That's what I want to learn. That there's nothing to fear. And I think it's our calling as a Christians to live as if God is true, so that people see that God is true. That we, Jesus says, "You are the light of the world." My theology is just Jesus. I think that he is like the perfect human, and that we should imitate him and all of him as far as possible. So I do as well believe in like signs and wonders and healings. Yeah. Yeah, it will be a long distance, 1,000 kilometers. It's a beautiful country, beautiful people. Like I'm told they are crazy but nice. So that fits quite me. And yeah, I want to tell them, like God told me to tell them about Jesus, that he's the most beautiful character. And yeah, as well, like want to tell them that I want them to go to heaven. Yeah, what I think is nuts is that no one does it like that, even though it's in Matthew 10, Mark 6, Luke 9, Luke 10, and at the end of Luke again. And he's calling us in Luke 10 to pray that God sends harvesters because the fields are ready. So that's what everyone should do. And then like 10 years later, you should get the idea. So like, I could do that. But I don't know anyone who got the idea or did it. Yeah, which is kind of sad. I know Christians in Albania which do have like the spiritual gifts, but they don't have done it like that. Yeah, the pastor told me to take some money with me, take a GPS with me, and not go alone. Yeah, okay, but God told me to, and no one else wants to come. And yeah, he said kind of because it's Jesus then as well wanted to go there to the villages where he sends his disciples, and that's not possible today. But I think the verse is evident. I think it's in Matthew where it says you won't be finished even with the villages of Israel until the Son of Man comes again. And it's not the case that everyone is saved yet, and it's not the case that people don't need Jesus anymore, and it's not the case that Jesus came back. So it's still our calling. Yeah, and I want to be. I want to help other Christians to have faith, encourage them to have faith, and non-believers to live a life with God. And you can say it, yeah, you can trust God, but actually doing it is thousand times more powerful. Yeah, I hope God protects me from pride. Yeah. Like I know without God I'm the worst sinner. I would just sin. And yeah, God has spent some time getting me to a place of humility, which is awesome, because humility is such so valuable. And yeah, it's tough, but I am grateful for God. And yeah, it's really like just wanting to do the trip has like really increased my faith, getting me closer to God, by like 30% at least. And even though I haven't started it yet. So yeah. And after the trip, way more spiritual growth, even though it's just a week, take a week. Maybe I'll go back as well for 2 weeks. So then, yeah, it will not be easy. People will throw me out. People will hate me. But not all, I guess. And God will make a way, and God will become visible. That's what I know. I've made notes and written down everything, like where God became visible, and it's so encouraging. And I take the notebook with me to recharge spiritually. And yeah, it will be like 10 hours driving per day, but it's Google Maps, so probably like 8 hours. But I don't have navigation, I don't have phone, I don't have money and food or sleeping bag. So yeah, 8-hour driving, 8-hour sleeping, and 8 hours socializing. Yeah, I can probably breakfast where I ate at dinner. Yeah, and so just midday, another one. So then like 3 times, or like 2 times, and then yeah, 2 hours midday and 6 hours free evening, free morning, yeah, probably like 2 morning and more evening. Yeah. The time on my bike I can use to pray. Yeah, I don't have much to distract myself, which is good. Alexander Solzhenitsyn wrote in the Gulag Archipelago that, like, out there in Siberia, you have nothing to distract yourself, and then you can hearken to the voice which is deep inside of you. And so you can learn to hear the voice of God, which is like awesome, it's your conscience, and I do think it's the voice of God. And if you listen to it, then it becomes louder. Yeah. I got some people praying for me, which is worth everything. I have not told my parents yet, and I try not to. Yeah. And I kind of would love to just, if it's really cool, and it will be cool, unbelievable cool, because the Bible says so. But then you could just go on. But yeah, I will come back to finish my machine. Yeah, and I just want Christians to become who they should be. Fearless. And with just the gospel in mind, I don't care about people speak about, meaningless stuff. Everything else is meaningless. And I want Christians to grow, that they get an idea of who they should be, at least. Fearless, which is like a huge point. And the gospel in mind, and like focused on heaven. Yeah, those are the points. Yeah, I've tried to learn Italian, but yeah, I don't know. I've got like maybe 50% of A1. So, yeah. I mean, I can understand stuff, partly. Yeah. Our God is an awesome God. We gotta lean in, and rejoice when He sends us challenges. And I would really love if, like, everyone does a trip like that. Like, that would be like incredible, and I do think it's like everyone is called. And God told me to do the trip, and then I was like, yeah, did He really tell me that? And then I just remembered it's not, or maybe He remembered me, it's not a specific thing God is calling people, but generally He called all disciples, all 12 disciples, all 70 disciples. And He even said it's too few. So everyone who could anyhow go, He sent out. And so, yeah, I would really love Christians to do that, because it changes their lives forever. And God promised us the fields are heavy, and you are harvesting people, and that's you're harvesting joy, and it's, yeah, I think it's incredible. Yeah, I do think I already have the gift of healing. I've healed a girl once with, yeah, she had an addiction. And God, like, I did not touch her, but God showed her in a dream that I touched her, and like with laying on hands and prayed for her, which is kind of funny, because elders in my church are not like, they don't wanna laying on hands, but I did pray for her, and God showed her that it was through laying of hands, though just in a dream. And yeah, and God encouraged me over and over again for healing. I think He called me once to pray for someone for healing, but she didn't want to. Um, yeah, I've prayed some 2 other times and they didn't work. So, but yeah, it says confidence and it says confide, so like with faith. If you have faith, miracles follow. Yeah, God is very excited for the trip. And it made me appreciate the cross. If we all have a wrong picture of God, we all have a too little picture of God. How much He loved us is visible on the cross, like how much He voluntarily suffered for me. And I don't like really see that because it's just a cross. But if you suffer as well and know the cross is even more, then you start to appreciate it. Yeah, and if you He died for you, if you died for Him, then it's the deepest friendship possible, and that's how you get closer to God. That's how you grow. And, I don't mind like problems or pain or whatever, as long as you're in tune with God. God is with you. You can withstand everything. So yeah, those are just some thoughts, and so yeah, the devil tried to scare me with a dream, and I think tonight as well. I think he wanted to guilt trap me. Yeah, but and if you're standing against a problem which is like infinitely high, like how did Jesus make it? He did pray in the Garden of Gethsemane. He prayed for like 3 hours, and if you can pray for 3 hours, and that's where the battle was. Like he was sweating blood there. It wasn't sweating blood afterwards, just there. And if you can pray for 3 hours, get in tune with God, then you can fight everything. And Peter, he did sleep, and so he failed afterwards. But yeah, so and I already was at a prayer walk, and I will pray there. I did pray a lot the last 4 weeks. That's how that's how you grow. That's how you get courageous. You just need kind of the discipline to do it, or the longing, the desire, and even that is God given. Yeah. So yeah, God bless you all, and I hope I could encourage someone. I did say everything which is on my heart with the truth. We're all sinners, and we all meet in heaven, and God will show everything. Yeah, God bless.